What's up, gamer? It's your friend SJ once again, and yes, for today we are going to do an in-depth review. I know you've been waiting for this, and I apologize. I only uploaded it right now, but it's better late than never, right? And yes, this is what we're going to review for today. Charan, take a look what this is. So this is an SJCAM S11 Active. So yeah, I know you've been waiting for this review. I put this to the test, and today I'm gonna reveal it to you. But before we do that, if this is your first time on this channel, don't forget to click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you'll be updated whenever we have new video. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the review of this action camera. Alright, but before we do that, don't forget to take it easy. Let's go! Yeah, so for this time I'm going to turn this on so that you guys get to see how long it is to turn on this camera. So just a long press right over here. Alright, it will light up. Alright, so as fast as that, it's already turned on. There you go. So this is the camera itself. You guys already saw this on my unboxing, so if you haven't, please go ahead and watch the unboxing part of this camera for you guys to see it. Alright guys, so this is what you're gonna do once you turn on this action camera. So if you wanna go to the menu, then just have to click on that bottom part right over there. You have the video labs, slow record, still, photo labs, and burst mode, and then video plus photo, car mode, and live broadcast. We have several examples, so watch this video up until the end so that you get to see it. Alright, so I believe the first test that I did is with the WDR info. So the first thing I did is I tested it off as well, and then after that auto power off is just of course normal, and then keypad tone is just self-explanatory. So voice broadcast, I haven't tested that, but I guess it's just something that's gonna talk once you press on something, right? And then LCD brightness, actually I am on the lowest LCD brightness setting, but it can go even higher. My camera is just exposing it too much. If you're gonna see it for yourself, it's just right. Even though it's bright, this maximum brightness setting is very useful, most especially if you're outside. But for inside, if you're inside a room, a well-lit room, then the lowest brightness setting is just right, and yeah, it will definitely make your battery last longer. And I'm gonna tell you how this battery lasted when I tested it, so stay tuned so that you can get to see what are the other performance and feature of this camera. SJCAM SJ11 Active. Screensaver, very self-explanatory. So for the frequency, 60 Hz, 50 Hz. And then the rotate, we have tested that earlier, but just for your sake, you can just turn it off and on. So if it's turned on, it's just gonna flip over, and then if it's off, then it's gonna be on its normal orientation, just like that. Alright, so for Wi-Fi spectrum, 5G, Wi-Fi spectrum is used if you're going to connect your mobile phone through this camera or any other like tablet as well. You can connect it as well. And then for the Wi-Fi, this is where you can put the password, and when you can choose or change the Wi-Fi SSD. So basically that's the name and the password of this SJCAM. So you cannot connect this onto a Wi-Fi network at all. Alright, that's not gonna happen, but you can connect to this camera. It can't connect out, alright, but you can connect to this camera, if that makes sense, right? Alright, so power on mode, basically if you turn it on, where do you want it to be, on the last page or the last mode that it was, or you want it to be on the video, when we want it to be the video labs, slow record, still, and then photo labs. That's basically just for the setting of where you want it to be once you turn it on. So I usually put it on the last mode where I left off. For default settings, so it's basically back to default, and then for the UI it's classic, and then you also have the SJCAM. Let me just show it to you. What's the UI of the SJCAM right over here? Yes, this is how it looks like for the UI or the user interface. So it's not a list, but it's gonna be icons if you're gonna use the SJCAM, but I like it better when it's on the classic one. So this is the version. So SJCAM 11 Active V1.3.1. dated May 24th, 2023, right? So I think that's the published date. Okay, so we're done with that setting. Now let's go to this part right over here, the magic wand. So basically this is where the most of the setting if you're gonna make some configuration with your video. So video codec H.264 is what's available, and then H.265, you only have two options actually. I'll use H.264, so lip recording if you want it to loop at 3 minutes, at 5 minutes, at 8 minutes. So those are the options that you have. And then motion detection, I don't normally use it, but you can probably use this if you're gonna use it as a dash cam, right? So pre-record, there are some things that are not supported when it comes to the options, all right, which are all listed right over here. So you can just turn it off and turn it on. So I don't do that. I don't do pre-record. And then delay record, so I don't use this as well because why would I delay? So basically this is probably once you press it, it's not gonna record yet. It's gonna record after 30 seconds or so. The WDR, I have sample videos for that, which is when it's turned on, it's gonna look like this, and when it's turned off, it's gonna look like this. Those are the raw footages that I've taken. So I have sample as well when the gyro is turned on, and this is how it looks like. And yeah, there are some restrictions. 1080p does not support anti-shake, so it's all listed here. You just have to read through it. And then we're gonna turn off the gyro sensor, and this is how it looks like with the gyro sensor off. Alright, so there you have it. Now let's see if we can do the FOV. Okay, now the FOV is on when the gyro is off. Okay, so take note of that. And then you can go wide. You can go middle. And this is the narrow. Alright, so for the HDR, this is how it looks like when the HDR is off. And this is how it looks like when the HDR is on. Audio is pretty self-explanatory, and this is the volume. So you have 8. Actually, this is the volume for the camera if you're gonna play some videos or not. So there you go. So I'll just give you the maximum volume, and I'll put it somewhere near to the mic. So there you go. I'm gonna play some clips in here so that you guys get to hear it. Alright, so I just recorded this video and I'm gonna play it for you, okay? I'm gonna put it closer to the mic for you to see. Alright, so that's the sound of it, and it's actually not loud at all. It might be a little bit louder on your end because I put it really close to the mic, as you can see, but that's how it sounds, right? So let's move on. And then audio noise reduction, we've tested it as well. So this is how it sounds with the audio noise reduction turned on. There you go. There's some vehicles passing by. Check it out. Okay. That's about it. Alright, there you go. So again, no editing at all. It's just the raw footage. So from this SJ camera, I just uploaded it right away. And then here's how it sounds like when it's turned off. This one doesn't have any audio reduction. So check it out. There's a jeep and a motor that will pass by. Alright, so there you have it. And yes, honestly, I like it better when it's turned off. It's just sound more natural. Do you guys agree? Go ahead and comment down below. So for the timestamp, it's just very normal. Just timestamp, you'll just have a little bit of time somewhere on your recording. So I just turn it off. But if you want to keep it like for your recording, if you want to know when it was shot, right? So better go ahead and turn it on. And then logo watermarks is probably something like shot with SJCAM 11 SJ Active, right? It depends on you if you guys want to turn it on. So again, bitrate, I've tested it as well, and this is how it looks like with the high bitrate. Now let's test it with a medium bitrate. Okay, and now let's test it with the lowest bitrate. How does it look like? For the ISO, I usually put it on auto, depending on what you do, but let me just show it to you what are the available options. So you have 100, 200, 400, 800, and 1600, and 3200 is the maximum for the ISO. And then for the sharpness, normal sharpness, and this is a strong sharpness, and This is the soft sharpness. And my default for that is, of course, normal. So it's somewhere in the middle. I like it somewhere in the middle. Alright, and then for the saturation, we have the high saturation, which is this is the example. And then we have the normal saturation. And then we have the low saturation right over there. Okay, great. So now let's go on ahead and move on to the next one. Contrast, let's try it as well. My normal setting for that is of course normal. And this is the sample for high contrast. There you go. And then another one for low contrast video. There you go. So I told you this is the ultimate test, so that's why I tested it one by one at a time. Alright, let's go ahead and check the image noise reduction. So this is the normal image noise reduction sample, which is my default. And then let's try the low one. This is the low noise reduction, image noise reduction. And this is the high noise reduction. Okay, so there you have it. Now let's try the image brightness. I tested it as well, I remember. And this is the normal setting for image brightness. And this is the highest sample for image brightness. And this is the sample for low brightness. Alright, so after image brightness, white balance, which is usually on auto, but these are the samples that we have for white balance. So you have daylight, you have cloudy, you have tungsten, and then we have the fluorescent, and then we have the underwater. Whoa, underwater is better. But yeah, we also have some sample videos for underwater, which I think it will be much better if I'm gonna post it right now. So here are the samples of the underwater shots. Took that shot, that is just on the default setting, so I did not put it somewhere on this underwater, so it could have been better if I did that, but it was just a point and shoot thing that I did when we took that shot. Now let's go to the colors. Color wise, I put it on normal, that's my default color setting, and then the other one is black and white. Right, there you go, black and white. You have that color. It's more like a filter actually. And then you have the retro color. Okay, great. And then you have the warm color, and then you have the cool color. I don't really play around with exposure that much, but just in case you want, just show it to you what are the available exposure settings. So you have here negative 1/3, negative 2/3, negative 1, so negative 4/3, so you have negative 5/3, you have negative 2 up until negative 2, and for the positive I think it's the same thing up until positive 5/3 and positive 2.0. And then what's next? Metering average is what I do, but you also have an option for center, spot. Alright, there you go. And then for distortion correction, so support all resolution, but it does not support gyro when the gyro is turned on. So for the resolution, you have the 4K 30 FPS resolution, you have the 2K 60 FPS resolution, you have the 2K 30 FPS, and then 1080p at 120 FPS. You have the 1080p at 60 FPS, 1080p at 30 FPS, 720p at 120 FPS, 720p 60, 720p 30 FPS. And look at this, guys. This is the 1080p 30 FPS vertical. Yes, there is a vertical shot, and it it's just a crafted version of the 1080p. So I don't really do it that much. I would just twist it somewhere like this for a much higher resolution if I want to shoot on vertical, right? Alright guys, so for honest feedback on this camera, what I like about this camera is, again, surprisingly, it is all metal already. I mentioned that during the unboxing. I was real surprised. So durability wise for the package is really nice because it's durable. It's metal, right? All of it, actually, I think, except for this part, which is, I believe, is glass, right? It's pretty obvious it's glass. This part, you can actually remove this part right over here, which is pretty nice. You can replace it with a filter and the filter. Yeah, additional protection for the lens as well, which is very nice. They say this is waterproof in itself right away, right? On it, without the case, it can go up to 5 meters. I usually just wash it with water after using, right? But it's not gonna be 5 meters. By doing that, washing this with water, I think it's somewhat waterproof, but I don't really risk it. But if you're gonna check on the cage right over here, so there's actually rubber in here which covers the memory card and the USB Type-C right over there. By the way, guys, you can actually use this as a webcam. Alright, so it's just plug and play. It's gonna automatically recognize it as long as you have a good USB connector, Type-C of course. And yeah, you can actually remove this, and I actually have to research about it on how to remove this because you cannot pull it right away like this. You have to pull it sideways so that you can remove this part right over here, and then you can just put it on your case, which is, by the way, included on the package, and then you can use it while you're charging it. So you can put it right here, or you can just use a tripod right over here, which I don't normally do because the screw of my tripod is pretty long, so it's not sticking into place, right? So I don't want that. Let me show it to you how to remove it. So you just have to hold it right here and then flip it sideways like that. There you go. Very easy, right? And then put it back. Alright, so there you go. It's back again. And yeah, for the battery itself, it's just, I think it's somewhat waterproof as well because there's a button right here that you have to press before you can actually open it. And there you go. That is the battery right over there, which is pretty warm right now. And by the way, this battery is actually from SJ10 is what's written here. So it's an SJ10 3.8 volts, 1300 megahertz battery, 4.94 watts. Yes, and since we're talking about the battery, when I tested it, I mean, it depends on your usage if you're using the gyro, but with all of the things active, that's how I normally use it. I think it lasted for 3 to 4 hours based on my experience. But for the charging time, it's not fast charging at all. I think it takes like 4 hours to 5 hours to charge it on this one. I just haven't tried it if you're gonna charge it with the charging port, which you can buy separately, so it's not included on the package. I also like the quality of the pictures. It's actually nice if you're not really that into professional photography, so you can bear with it for its price. I like the price as well, which I'm going to post a link in the description down below. I actually bought this for a discounted price. Now let's move on to the things that I didn't like. So the first thing, which is not really that much of a bummer, knowing that for its price you have this feature. Okay, so I'm gonna show it to you right now. So this is the front-facing camera. It is actually nice to have, but not the best. There are two ways that you can do this. You can just swipe down. Actually, there you go. So swipe down, and then you can have here option for Wi-Fi, and then front display, LCD up, and then remote. So I'll just go ahead and put the front display. There you go. So there you go. It's turned on. 1, 2, 3. 3 seconds or 4 seconds, I believe, because it's kind of delay. The quality of the front-facing camera is just right because yeah, you're just gonna use it to monitor yourself, just to see yourself for the framing. But it's not the best quality, but it's all good. I mean, it's just nice to have a monitor to make sure that you are always in frame when you're shooting videos, right? Try it again. So if you're gonna turn it back, according to the manual, you just have to press it double, right? But I usually do it thrice or 4 times because this is not the softest key that you can find, probably because it's waterproof. Let me try double click. 1, 2. Oh, it works this time, but it took 4 seconds to put right back. 34 seconds. One more thing that I didn't like about this camera is when it's about the battery to go low, it's not really that accurate, the label right over here, the battery right over here. A lot of times I've experienced it that the camera will just shut down or will just hang up. So those are the signs that the battery is already at the lowest point of it. Not really of a big bummer for me, so I can bear with that for the price of this camera. What else I didn't like about the audio quality? I've shown you an example if the audio quality is not really good, so you can just really use to take videos. But if you're gonna take the audio, I would suggest that turn off the noise reduction. I mean, it's nice to have that you have mic here at least that you can use for emergency purposes. For example, you don't have any access to microphone or what. I actually tested a USB Type-C microphone, so I've tried it and put it here, a USB Type-C microphone. I even contacted someone who's selling it, and they say that it does not work with this SJCAM 11 Active. Although I haven't really got a response from SJCAM if it's possible, because I know they are selling microphone USB Type-C, the official one. So I'm not quite sure if that one would work with this SJCAM 11 Active, but I'll definitely give you an update on the comment section down below. So make sure that you are reading that comment down below and you're putting some comments in there as well, so that you will be updated, and I'll give you an update. I'm gonna email SJCAM about that if this is compatible with a USB Type-C microphone. But believe me, I tried it. I tried the converter 3.5 to USB Type-C and a USB Type-C microphone as well. It just doesn't work. I've tried it a lot of times because the quality is really not the best. That's why I've been trying that. Okay, and what else I didn't like? I don't know if it's just this device, but I've used this twice under the sun, or it's probably because of the weather as well. I've experienced some moist on this screen right over here in front when I was using this camera, like barely itself, and the sun is really high when I use that. I have those instances, but it did not affect the quality of the video. But that only happens when I'm using it barely without the protective case or the waterproof case. But when I'm using the waterproof case, it didn't happen at all. We've actually used this in Palawan or in the beach and go island hopping. We did not experience that at all. I only experienced that when I used this without the case. What I would suggest that you do when you go out, make sure that you have your waterproof case on with this camera. When I use this as a webcam, it is actually hot when I touch it, but it did not shut down at all or whatsoever. So I don't know if it's a normal thing or what, but my suggestion to you, if ever you're gonna use this as a webcam, make sure to remove the battery so that it will not be affected. And believe me, it's gonna work without the battery, okay? And if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, share this video to your friends, family, or just anyone who's looking for a budget action camera with a front display like this with nice quality. And share your thoughts, questions, suggestions in the comment section down below, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell so that you'll be updated whenever we have a new video. This is Fred once again. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out, everyone. Keep safe to all of you, and once again, don't forget to take it easy. I'll see you in another video. Yeah.